Welcome to Queer Efficiency, where I help fellow productivity nerds solve tiny problems. Today's tiny problem: how to keep track of your fitness routine in a way that's easy enough to use, but robust enough to actually be helpful. I'm Anthony Wagner, a professional problem solver and productivity nerd, and I'm excited to show you how I finally got a handle on my daily exercise routine. Let's get into it. All right, so I do all of this in Notion. I absolutely love Notion. It's a phenomenal tool that's simple enough for anyone to learn, but also powerful enough that you can do all sorts of really robust and helpful things. So in this video, I'm going to talk about technically three tiny problems that I solved using this Notion template. The first is knowing which exercises to do at the gym every day. When I get to the gym, which actual exercises should I be doing? The second is keeping track of how many sets of an exercise that I've done, and also making sure that I'm using the weight that's appropriate, remembering the weight that I left off on, and also increasing the weight over time. The third thing that we're going to talk about is mobile-friendly tweaks that I've made to Notion, because being able to do this on your phone is really important. So let's jump into Notion, and let's actually look at this fitness tracker together. What I did was I built a simple fitness tracker that is broken down into a few key areas of your body. I grouped the exercises. How did I find these? I went online, I looked up arm dumbbell exercises, chest and shoulder dumbbell exercises, things like that. All of this is based on dumbbells, though I do have things for machines and also stretches. Not gonna cover those in this video. So you'll notice that there's a duplicated column. We're gonna come back to why that is when we get to the mobile section. So just hold off on that for the moment. I've got this exercise column, which lists the name of the exercise. I have a button which says today. I have a column which shows the weight. You'll also notice that these are truncated. Some columns are, and that's again, mobile specific, and I'll show you that when we get to that point. I have a column for set. I have this plus column, which is a new thing I just added. I have a button for plus set, and then the starting weight. I use this column at the beginning of a new exercise to track what weight I started on so I can see progress over time. So you can see on this particular view, this is the weights view. This is where I have all of these grouped by the area of the body. The way I structure my workouts, now I should preface this right here by saying, I'm not a fitness expert. I just go to the gym. I actually go there every day, and I have built this myself. I have had my dietitian and also my therapist, who happens to be pretty into fitness. I've had them both look at this, and they both are pretty impressed with it, but I'm not a fitness expert. I'm not a personal trainer by any means. This is just what I use to solve the problem for myself. So this is the way I structure my exercise routine. I'm at the gym every day, and I rotate between upper and lower body to do strength, so I'm giving each area of my body a break. So one day I'll go in and I'll do arms, and then I'll jump down and do core, and then I'll come back and do chest and shoulder, and then I'll do legs and back. Right now, my database is structured that there's a weights column that's linked to this weights database. This is where all of those weights are listed. And then I link each exercise to whichever weight I'm currently on with that. I'm actually thinking about restructuring how I do that, just to make it a little simpler and also possibly add some new automations, but I'm not quite there yet. So that's how it's built right now. These that have a C on them and are this pound sign, this is for count, because a bench dip, this is not a weighted exercise, it's a body weight one. And so I do 45 of them, typically in 3 sets. So 15 a set times 3 sets is 45. That's where that comes from. The rest of these are just the actual weights on the dumbbells. We'll come back to the set property in a minute. But the next thing that I added, and I actually just added this morning, one of the things that I've been wanting to do is keep track of around when I'm feeling like I can increase the weight. At the moment, changing the weight on mobile is a little clunky, which is, again, one of the reasons I'm considering restructuring how this is built. But this morning I was like, what if I just had a column where I could turn on a checkbox? So let's scroll down, because I have some down here. And I know that this morning I actually increased this weight to 50. All of these plus this one, which I did this morning as well. And so I ticked on this as a reminder that, oh, I probably can increase this. So it'll remind me either when I'm back at my desktop to actually come in and change the weight, which I can do just by clicking here, typing in 50 and increasing. And then if I click this again and just drag like that, it's actually much easier to do than having to do this 400 times on mobile. So I know those are there, and then I can clear these out of here. So that is my indicator to do it. Also, if I happen to not have done this by the time I go to the gym next and do those exercises, it will remind me to probably increase the weight again so that I know, ooh, I actually ticked that on the last time, so pick up a heavier weight this time. That's my current solution. As I said, I'm ruminating on some new changes for getting rid of this and then creating a button like this that would allow me to just cycle up and down through the weights. Haven't quite gotten there yet. It's still kind of a thought in my head. Now, if you flip over to the today view, right now it's empty. Totally expected because I haven't actually identified any exercises to do for the day. I'm gonna do this on desktop. I will actually in a moment get my phone and pull that up on the screen so you can see it, and we'll look at the mobile view together. But for right now, just to show you the principles, it's exactly the same thing as on mobile. All I have to do when I sit at the gym is I decide on which group of exercises I'm gonna do. And as you saw actually a minute ago, I had one identified from the back area, and then I had a few identified, I actually had a bunch identified from the core. That's okay, I can do that. I can structure my workout however I want. If I wanna add some extra of a specific area, I can, that's totally possible. Here's how I do it. Typically, I have these groups collapsed. And let's say today is an arm day. So I'll sit on a bench at the gym, pull out my phone, pull this database up, and all I have to do is tick on today for each exercise I'm gonna do. So let's just do that. And you'll see what's happening here is that it's entering a 0 in the set column. Flipping over to the today view, this view is filtered by the set column, and it only shows rows where set is not empty, right? It has to have a value. It doesn't matter if it's 0, as long as there's a value in that column, it's gonna show that row. So that's how I tell it to show those exercises, is just by ticking on today, and then those exercises appear in the today view. Now, you might be wondering, how do I clear those? Is there an easy way? Sure is. At the beginning of every workout, I just click reset workout, and all that does is it looks for all pages in that database and blanks out the set value. It just takes away the value that tells it to clear. And that actually blanks them out here as well. So as I turn these on, another thing I have set here is you can see a count of these, any that are not empty, so I can see how many I'm doing. On mobile, it's really nice and everything is kind of compact, so I can look at it really quick. So this is how I select the exercises for that day at the gym. Maybe I want to add in a chest workout for this. I've selected those and I'm feeling like, I want to get some extra chest in. So maybe I'll do an incline push-up and maybe I'll do an incline bench press. So I can add those from other groups as well. Next is how I keep track of things when I'm at the gym. That's where the today view comes in. So I'll use the weights view to set up the workout, and then I use the today view to do the workout. On my phone, I have a case that has a little kickstand that pops out. You could also do this with a pop socket, anything like that. You don't need it, it just makes it nice. I sit this out on the bench. I sit my phone up so that it's laying on that kickstand, and then I have an app called KinScreen that keeps the screen on whenever the phone is tilted up. So the phone screen stays on, and I leave this database up. And on mobile, it looks quite nice and everything is compact. So I just see the things on my screen that I need to see, which is this table, and that's it. So I have this column which says the exercise to do, which weight to do, that plus if it's ticked on for anything here, and then a plus set button. One of the benefits to this view, I also have it sorted by weight in alphabetical order, in numeric order. So they all show as a group. So this tells me I'm doing 2 body weight exercise, 2 count exercises, so these are body weight, but that tells me, okay, I need to go up to the weight rack and grab the 45s and the 25s. Or if it's super busy, I'll do all 45, so I'd only have to take 1 set of dumbbells and then all 25. But that's a very quick way of knowing which weights I need. As I've done this method, I've learned that I basically need 1 heavy set and 1 light set of dumbbells, and I try to keep them grouped now, so I'm not going all over the place. I only really need 2 sets of dumbbells per each area, and I increase them together. So as an example, if I got the concentration curl up to 27.5, I would check to see if I could do the hammer curl and the tricep kickback at that weight and upgrade them all at the same time. So that way, again, I'm sticking with 1 heavy set and 1 lighter set of dumbbells for every workout. Then all I have to do as I'm doing the exercises, let's say I just did the bench dip, all I have to do on my phone is tap plus set, and what it does is it adds 1 to the set column. So this is a button. And all it does is it says, edit this page, edit the set, take the existing set and add 1. So it's just incrementing this value. And I have this view, in addition to it being sorted by weight, it's grouped by set in 1 item increments. So the nice thing is, every time I complete a set, the exercise will move out of the group at the top and into the next one. So let's do that for a couple of them. And this is a very simple way of knowing what exercises I've done and which I have not. This is probably the most useful feature here. having the exercises grouped by set and just being able to see both what exercises I'm still needing to do on the current set, and then also which exercises are complete. So you can see in the set column, it's got this circle chart here. It's set to say that the max number there is 3. So if I do one exercise and do all 3 of them simultaneously, you'll see it increases this, and then that circle is filling until it gets to 3, and then it's fully green once I've done all of them. If you're someone that as you're exercising, you do 3 sets of the same exercise back to back to back, you can totally do it that way. So let's reset this, and I'll just pick a few of these again. Come back here. And you could do that this way. You could just say, you did the bench dip, you do another one, and the nice thing is it just stays put. So I can do all 3 back to back to back, and then same thing. It'll just live there, and it's just as easy to do it that way as well. All right, so last, I wanna show you the mobile-friendly tweaks that I've made to this. I was gonna pull my phone up on the screen, but I actually decided I'm just gonna use Chrome's developer tools because I can create a mobile view right here. So all I have to do is tab back and forth, and we can look at it that way. So let's go back to the weights view. And remember that I pointed out this duplicated column. So why do I have these duplicated? Let's actually quickly create a duplicate of this weights view. I'm gonna bring that over. I'm gonna drag that here. I'm gonna delete it eventually, but I just wanna show you what it would look like if I brought this over. And let's say we hid this actually in this view. Why did I do it this way? All right, let's flip over to the mobile view, scroll down, and change to that weights 1 view. And let's take a look. Part of the problem is right now, this is actually a little cut off because this is one thing about Notion on mobile. You can't adjust the widths of the columns. You have to do it on desktop, which I hate. I wish Notion would fix that so I could adjust these widths because it's kind of a pain. But right now, things are cut off. So let's fix that. Let's adjust for it. Let's drag this in. Cool, it looks fine on desktop, but on mobile, what's gonna happen is, as I drag that in, see exactly what happened, is it's now moved these items because of this open button, which is to open and edit the record. It's moved those items, any that don't fit this container anymore because of the width, they wrap onto a new line, which I don't love. It just makes this look more chaotic and messy, and I don't love how it looks. So by using the view that I set up, I've actually just created a formula column here. So let's flip back to the desktop view. We can come back here. All this column is a formula that just replicates what's in here. So if I edit this, you can see all that's here is the exercise column. That's it. Another Notion thing, this is the main identifier property that you can't delete or hide. It's there by default. So all I have here is that just dragged all the way to the far right. On mobile, I don't even see it because it's off the side of the screen. And then this allows me to not see those open buttons, and it just gives me a little bit more screen real estate. Works very well. Another thing that I have is the weight column. So let's come back here and take a look. Normally, when you're editing in Notion, if I drag this in, notice I can't drag any further to the left. It stops there. And what will happen is, if I'm looking at that view again, this extra little bit of space is enough that on mobile, it's gonna get in the way of things that you actually wanna do. So let's do the same thing with the today view. I'm gonna duplicate this. Let's flip this back around here as well. This is the today view now. And let's edit the weight width, okay? So again, let's do it so that it's gonna force it to be that width that's there. This is the default. There's a way to get around it. I'm gonna show you in a second. But with these 2 changes like this, if I come back to mobile, go to today, now what has happened is this is enough to push my set off the screen. I can't even see it now, and I'd have to be scrolling back and forth. I know that that seems fussy, but when you're trying to do something really simple on mobile and you're trying to have your tool not get in the way, something like that of having to swipe back and forth is very annoying. Another thing on mobile, it doesn't let you freeze the first column like it does on desktop, which that's something Notion I don't really get because that seems like a really important thing to be able to do, to have this column freeze and then have the other scroll behind it. But we're not there yet. But if we flip back to the desktop view, what I can do to correct for this is set up one of those formula columns. So again, I would do the same thing here where I would move this off to the right. I would love to hide this, but I can't. This one allows me to drag the column in way tighter so that it's not leaving any unnecessary white space. And then this one here, Notice I can't drag to the left, but in fact, you can. If you click on it and then hit Alt on your keyboard, that will allow you to shrink it down even further. And so I have it just to the edge of this widest value. And now if I come back to this view, you'll see that I actually get, just by those 2 tiny tweaks, I can get the whole set column on this. In fact, I could come back here and I could edit the set to make that even a little narrower as well. And now when I do this on mobile, like I told you before, this becomes very easy using a mobile view. All I have to do is tap on the items and it works exactly the same as I showed you on desktop. It's very, very easy. So let's come back here, come back to the weights view, the main one. I'm gonna reset this workout. And let me just really quickly go through setting up a full workout, but from mobile. So let's say today I'm gonna do the back exercises just because there's fewer of them and I can quickly toggle those on. So again, my first step is choose the area that I'm gonna work out. When I sit down, I choose the area I'm gonna work out, and then I toggle on the exercises by clicking today. That adds a 0 to this, so that will then tell it, okay, let's show up in the today view. I'm gonna use my real one. And then from here, all I have to do is do the exercises. It tells me, okay, I need a 50 pound and a 20 pound. So I go grab those weights. And then from here, all I have to do is tell it, okay, I've done, let's say I did all 3 of my farmer's carry back to back to back. And then I did my reverse fly, my incline row, same thing, just like that. And now my workout is complete. All right, that's all I've got for you today. Don't forget, if you want my help solving a tiny problem like this fitness one, please drop a comment below. I love to create videos by request and love to create things in Notion. So if you've got something you need, definitely let me know by dropping a comment below. And if you like this video, you can share it with your friends, or even simpler, scroll down and tap the like button. It really helps me out, and it tells me what content you all like that I'm creating. So it helps me create more of that for you in the future. So scroll down and tap like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.